Go. Welcome to YouTube Analytics, presented by Gordon Snyder. These break time videos are sponsored by the CCTA, the Centers Collaborative for Technical Assistance, an NSF ATE-funded grant. CCTA's original purpose was to respond to a request from the Department of Labor, DOL, to the NSF to have ATE centers provide technical assistance services to the DOL tax grantees. And now that tax grants are over, we are focusing strictly on helping NSF grantees and proposal writers. Our deliverables are to provide technical assistance webinars, workshops, and best practice documents.
Great. Thanks, Christina, and hi, everybody. I'm Gordon Snyder, as Christina said earlier. I've been using YouTube, I've been using videos in my classes for a number of years now, and most of what I post, I've actually been posting up on Google Drive and sharing it with the students on Google Drive. I recently started experimenting on my YouTube channel, putting the content up on YouTube and giving public access. So if you have a Google account, you have a YouTube account basically, and you can log into your YouTube account. And you can pick, if you pick the Your Channel option and you click the YouTube Studio button, I've got the red arrow pointing at here on this slide at the top of the page. It's YouTube Studio Beta. Notice that means these menus tend to change a little bit usually. We'll talk a little bit about that as we get into it a little more. But on the sidebar, you'll see some channel options. There's a dashboard option, video option, analytics, and comments. So we're going to talk about analytics today. So you want to pick the analytics option here. Now, when you do that, it takes you to a page like this. So if you look at the top, there's three basic metrics that are displayed with this current beta version. Okay, there's views, watch time in minutes, and subscribers. And if you look, I've got some little red downward arrows pointing. The percentages, those are percentages in red or green, showcase the difference month to month. And as you can see, my percentages are down quite a bit this month because school is over, basically. So, but when you click on these metrics, the graph changes to show your channel's progress. If you keep track of this data, if you watch this stuff on a monthly basis, you can monitor how successful your content is. Maybe you're using it for a recruitment campaign or something like that. If you've got a campaign and you're posting videos up on YouTube, again, this is a great way to monitor what's working, not what's not working. So these metrics at the top that we've mentioned they're high level, just a high level view of your channel and the kind of engagement you're getting. But there's a lot more if you dig into this stuff a little more. Let's click to the next slide. Now, so again, there's a lot more useful information on this page. Here we're looking at videos option, and you can see at the bottom, this is a screenshot of some of my videos here. I've got some personal stuff. Let's see, probably the only technical one I've got posted is this method of short circuit time constants, which is something used in a transistor analysis course. But anyways, there's a lot of good information on this page. Every single one of your YouTube videos is listed here. It's broken down by views, by watch time, by how many subscribers the video earned, the impressions, the impression click-through rate. We'll talk about impressions in a little bit. The first video listed is your most successful video, the second being the second most successful, and so on. And my most popular one is surfing Truckee River. And you can actually use a surfboard and surf the Truckee River in downtown Reno, which is kind of neat. But it would be a good idea if you're doing this, if you're using this, and I have this page bookmarked to track your video progress as you continue to post more content on YouTube. So in these videos, again, show how successful each video is. Now, let's click to the next slide. Let's look at this is a watch time example. If you'd like to see how your content has been doing over a longer period of time, you have the option of looking at watch time over certain periods of time. If you could click, if you see here on this page, I've got last 28 days selected in the top right corner. And then you can select, again, a time frame from the drop-down menu. So you want to look at your analytics for the past year, let's say. That'll give you an idea of how your videos are performing month to month. Maybe some videos are more relevant in some months and not so much in other months. Maybe you're a tech department, let's say at a community college, and you host an annual recruitment event for students and parents. You could share, maybe make a recap video and share that. The same video, you may see some engagement the week before and after the event in the next year. So it's a great way to create content that's sustainable over multiple years, if you look at these kind of metrics. All right, let's look at the next slide. Well, here we are here. By gliding over the graph, you can see how many minutes each video was watched for any specific day. Again, and just kind of sliding around back and forth with your mouse, tracking what was watched and when it was watched. Okay, let's look at some more metrics, and we'll look at traffic sources now. You can learn a lot about your audience if you spend time taking a look at each of these tabs. We're just going to look at some of them. But if you click on traffic source, that's another good one to take a look at. You can see how your videos are being discovered, whether that, it's a suggested video on the YouTube search page, it's in a playlist. We'll talk a little bit more about this later, but you can see here, you get an idea again how people are finding your content. If you click on geography, you'll be shown where your videos are being watched. This may or may not be important to you. It's important to you if you're a business. But let's say, I just have an example here. If you know that 54%, let's say the majority of your audience is from the United States, you wouldn't waste your time placing YouTube ads on videos being watched in other countries. This is more of a business perspective, but it's very important for them. You want to get an idea where people are watching from, and then you can maybe target YouTube ads if you see a little bit of a spike. And these YouTube ads would, again, be directed to that area, that geographic area. Okay, you can take your analytics in real time too. On this page, you'll see the videos listed, their published date, how they've been performing in the last 48 hours. You can also look at their activity, excuse me, in the last 60 minutes. So this is really live analytics. If you share a video, you want to monitor how well it's doing within the first couple of days of uploading, this is where you would go to watch your analytics develop in real time. Maybe you're replying to comments the first day of posting, and you notice that, let's say, the engagement dropped off after you stopped interacting with the commenters. You can note this for next time, and maybe keep your eye on the comments, and continue to reply to comments. Keep up on that. All right. How are people finding your content? Again, another important analytic. So this graph here on this page shows you your impressions engagement over time. Now, your impressions they show how many times your video thumbnails are shown on YouTube. Okay, so your impressions are sort of like your potential reach on YouTube and the opportunity for somebody to click on that and for you to earn a view in your analytics. So an impression is counted every time a video thumbnail is shown to someone on YouTube. The small play button icon even shows you when you posted a video and how well that video performed. Maybe you've noticed that. Just like before, you can change the category or time span at any time to view a different set of analytics. Facebook Analytics does something similar to this, both Facebook Analytics and YouTube. They'll inform you how many unique viewers have watched your content. So you want to keep your eye on that content, on that number. And you want to make sure if you want it to steadily increase, depending on the audience you're targeting, this is a good way to track that. Below the orange graph, there's a whole bunch of other stats that let you know how your audience found you. If you were to click see more here, you can determine the way that people discovered your videos. It could be through YouTube search bar, browser features, suggested videos in the sidebar. It could be a curated playlist. You'll be able to know what external source they came from, whether they were redirected from somewhere else. They may have come from, for example, Instagram or Facebook. So these analytics tell you that your audience is on other social media platforms separate from YouTube. So you want to take note of that, because these are places you may want to also publish content. One of the most interesting analytics in this section is the traffic source suggested videos box and a traffic source YouTube search box. So these are the boxes that tell you exactly where your viewers came from. The suggested video box lets you know which video they were watching before clicking on yours, while the YouTube search box lists things your viewers have searched before clicking on your video. So these stats are really, really important. If you notice that your viewers are watching a certain maybe influencer before clicking on your videos, it could be a good idea to reach out to that influencer and maybe suggest working together. This could spark the start of a a marketing person would call it an influencer marketing campaign, which could boost your views and the other person's views and numbers significantly. And these little things are really important. These are the kinds of things you want to at least take a look at and hopefully keep track of some of this stuff. If you know what your viewers are watching, and if you know how they're finding you, where they're coming from, also you'll know how to better target when you're when you're posting videos and how you're linking to them, whether you're using links and other social media platforms to direct people to your content, those kinds of things. So this is a relatively short webinar. We went over a few metrics you could track, but there's a lot more to analyze. At the beginning, we said this was a beta. We said YouTube Studio was listed as a beta. So things change. They get moved around. New things get added. Most things don't get removed, but sometimes they get relocated, maybe is the best way to think about it. So when you get into the analytics, you want to click around and take a look at the data that's available to you and figure out what you want to monitor. The more you do monitor, though, just like any analytics on any social media platform, you'll be able to better understand where your audience is coming from, the kind of content they enjoy most, and how they're interacting with videos online. So you want to check this stuff at least once a week. And if you get addicted to it, you'll probably be checking it every few hours if you get a video that does take off. I've been using Google Drive for posting most of my content. I do a lot of video content with an iPad and an Apple Pen. I do a lot of mathematical examples and solutions that way for some of the courses I'm teaching. And I'm in the process, I think this summer I'm going to be moving a lot of that content over to YouTube and just put it out for public availability. The reason I kept it on Google Drive was I wanted to keep it private and just allow students I would just give my students in my classes access to the link. But I think I'm going to put that stuff up and just make it public now. But I have had a lot of content, and I've seen some interesting impact numbers, I think, with student success using these kinds of video solutions. So I think if you want to take a look at that kind of stuff, you could take a look at that method of short circuit time constants video I have up on my channel right now. And I've got some references here. Again, there's 3 references I used for this. These are all good articles. They're all relatively current, relatively up to date. And again, sometimes it gets a little frustrating because this is a beta and things do move around. But if you keep poking around in the analytics, you'll be able to find what you're looking for. So, thank you.
Thank you, Gordon, for that.